So we're getting new reaction from Republicans accusing Democrats of holding the economy hostage, after leading Democrats make it clear they're willing to allow a massive package of tax hikes and spending cuts take effect if Republicans don't agree to higher taxes on higher earners. Here's the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on the floor of the Senate.
Now, let's make no mistake. What the Democrats are proposing today is an entirely avoidable, high-stakes game of chicken with the single-minded goal of taking more money from those who earn it for government to waste.
Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee. Senator, good morning to you and welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
We had a reporter on 45 minutes ago who made the case that both sides see benefit in this debate. And in an election year, that's why this is playing out. What do you say to that?
I say you can't be for jobs and against the people that create the jobs that help build our economy. But that's what the president seems to be wanting to do. I want a healthy economy. We have a weak and sick economy now, and it's because of 3.5 years of President Obama's policies of increasing taxes, and now he seems to want to do more of the above. And it seems like he's willing to play Russian roulette with our economy and put us into another recession by his willingness to want to raise taxes on the very people that are the ones that are going to get us out of this economic doldrums.
What is your sense, Senator, about how voters see this issue?
Well, I would think that people would look at the 8.2% unemployment that we have now, Bill, and the fact that it's been 40 months with the economy being weak instead of healthy, and they say, we want a healthy economy. We want people back to work. But the president's policies with threats of increased taxes, the incredible costs of the health care law, the taxes there, 20 different taxes, and increasing regulations coming out of this administration, that leads to more uncertainty and an unwillingness of the job creators to go ahead and actually hire more people. We need to get people back to work.
You know what the other side says about what Republicans are doing? They say this is similar to holding the country hostage on the debt ceiling issue. What do you say to that?
Well, the president has to stop pretending that raising taxes is the same as cutting spending. We need a balanced budget in this country. We need a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution, and then we need to go and address the issue of this huge debt that we continue to borrow $2 million a minute just to keep our head above water, and we're continuing to borrow from China. That doesn't help us stay a strong and independent nation when you owe that kind of money to other people, Bill.
Do you really see this issue happening the way that some describe it? That you have a massive tax increase, at the same time you have significant cuts in spending?
I'm ready to vote
and if you
today.
do, defend it, but if you don't, how is it resolved then?
Well, I'm willing to vote and ready to vote today to say let's extend this tax situation for another year. You know, the president said 2 years ago that you shouldn't raise taxes on anyone in economic times like these, and the economic times today are worse than they were back then. So I think we ought to have about a year to really fundamentally do the kind of tax reform we need to encourage the job creators to hire more people. If you need more tax revenue coming into the country, the way to do it is to get people back to work, to have more and more people working and then paying taxes rather than threatening or punishing those who are successfully creating businesses. And I fundamentally disagree with the president when he says if you have a business, you didn't build that business, someone else did. I would defy the president to come to Wyoming and tell the ranchers, the farmers, the people that have floral shops or car washes, dry cleaners, that they didn't build those businesses, because Americans all across this country have built those businesses.
It appears that this is another 11th hour issue that will go past the election, that will not be resolved until Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. You see the same?
And that hurts our economy. This should not be pushed off into a lame duck session after the elections. We should address those issues today. Harry Reid on the Senate has been blocking vote after vote. I'd like to say all of these things that are going to come in the lame duck session, we ought to be addressing those things today, Bill, and I'm ready to do it.
All right, Senator, thank you for your time. John Barrasso, Republican from Wyoming.